And a good midday Monday on this 25th of November. We're looking at the upper elevations of the north central Green Mountains, and what we can see is a lot of snow being made, but also some natural snow that had fallen in the higher terrain. Now, none of this is down on the valley floors, but we do have a few inches of snow that have fallen over this past 24, 36, 48 hours. And we have more on the way, especially as we head toward, it looks like, Thanksgiving afternoon into Thanksgiving night and into the morning hours on Friday. We could see a few inches even down to valley floors, and definitely some travel issues on the way. Even preceding that, we're looking at a little bit of spotty freezing rain. It looks like it could be elevated a little bit off the valley floors instead of on the valley floors. This is going to take place as early as tomorrow morning, and there is a winter weather advisory that goes into effect anywhere between 1 a.m. and about 1 p.m. on Tuesday. So morning hours could be a little bit tricky, where there could be a little bit of freezing rain. So heads up, a little bit of icing. And of course, we do have more snow in the forecast once we get into Thanksgiving Day. In fact, it'll be on Thanksgiving Day as it looks right now. For turkey dinner, it looks like you'll be seeing the snow come down pretty good, and it's going to add up. We might even see as much as 6 inches in the mountains, maybe even perhaps more than that, with several sort of smaller disturbances that work in continuing into this coming weekend. Using the meso-analysis here from the SPC, what we can see here is cold temperatures at freezing or below. This is mostly confined a little bit north of the northwestern Great Lakes there. Into parts of the west, this air is going to be coming at us with a fairly vigorous storm system that's located here. Right now we have a little bit of ridging that's in between, and this is between an area of low pressure that's pulling away from us. We're sort of on the edge of that with a little bit of leftover cloud cover, but a little bit of a skinny ridge here, and that's giving some clearing skies. We're going to drill down from top to bottom. What we have here is the higher level winds aloft, the jet stream level, about 300 hectopascal millibars, and you can see kind of overtopping a ridge. This is giving a little bit of subsidence clearing. The next level down, looking at 500 millibars, about 18,000 feet, kind of the lower part of the jet stream, if you will. Pretty much cuts almost west to east here, nothing really here to see. 700 millibars, about 10,000 feet elevation. So ridging to the west, and we have a vigorous area of low pressure in the mid-levels. And then that's pushing in some pretty good strong winds and much colder air aloft. You can see the thicknesses here and the blue lines. But this colder air is going to make it in here this coming probably about Thursday night into Friday, and especially this weekend. So looking at 850, a little bit of a lifting mechanism that's left over, and then some ridging, and that's going to produce some better conditions for us. And then at 850, without that lifting mechanism, you can see the colder temperatures here. That's where the colder air is confined a little bit into Vermont, but that's going to be exiting out of the region. And then at 925, that's about base lodge level for most ski resorts. You can see that the cold air is penetrated well down into really southern parts of New England as well. And one more time back to surface here. And what we're looking at here, of course, is the entire country. And a little bit of clearing, as I mentioned, is kind of start to work on into the west. We have actually clearing skies to the western parts of the state. This is going to be transiting the state with this weak ridge of higher pressure aloft. All good news there. Looking at temperatures at about 150 millibars, about the top of Mount Mansfield, roughly this kind of slice of the atmosphere. What you can see is warmer than normal conditions out ahead of what was colder than normal conditions that's incoming across the west. We'll get to that here in a second. This is colder air that's pushing on out and to be replaced by a little bit of a warming trend, and hence we could see a little bit of minor freezing rain east of the Green Mountains. So running the temperature anomalies, you can see how we warm back up. This maxes out during the afternoon hours on Tuesday, and then a little bit of a cold air kind of follows it behind the frontal system. This is the area of low pressure, and that's now rotated up into parts of Canada, pretty far to the north of Vermont. This is going to continue with the next weather system, more important, kind of a storm that's going to track here. This looks like it could bring us a little bit of snow, but it's a little bit edgy and touchy, and this could also be a very wet snow loading kind of phenomenon, mainly in the higher elevation. So elevation storm on the way. Here's how the cold air works on in. Look at these this shot of colder air. This is kind of what the winter forecast is looking like, where it would be more central and northerly located and into the west at times. And some of that penetrates to the south and east, but it never stays very long. But this particular time to start winter, looks like we're going to see that, as cold air is going to be pushing in from the north, and displaced Arctic air is going to be still hanging out in the eastern part of the U.S., really affecting North Carolina, the middle Atlantic states, Virginia, and not getting to the extreme anomalous cold here for Vermont, but cold enough, and basically we're going to be in winter. Now, the first week of December is going to feature that, and you can see how this sets up, and as far as I can go, we kind of stay colder than normal, and that has been the opposite anomaly as what we've been seeing for much of really from September, October, and into much of November. Using the European AI version, what we can see here is cold enough temperatures aloft, but a little bit of a warming trend. But here comes the system that's going to be moving in. Now that precipitation starts tomorrow morning. It just edges on in, and so a little bit of spotty freezing rain, mainly in elevated areas. There is a winter weather advisory in effect along and east of the Green Mountains for a little bit of spotty freezing rain. So travel conditions tomorrow could be a little bit dicey, but things do warm up aloft, and that pushes on out once we get in the late part of the day. And then we're left with a little bit of lake effect snow showers that kind of curl up into the northern parts of Vermont, so off and on snow flurries and snow shower activity, which will also aid some of the northern Green Mountains as well. This continues a little bit into the morning hours on Wednesday, and then better conditions work on in. Once we get into Wednesday night, we have clearing skies, and then another shot of precipitation. Now, this is setting up for Thursday. This is Thanksgiving Day, Turkey Day. So looks like the precipitation lead in comes in during the morning hours, reaching southern parts of New England, advances north and east, but at relatively light amounts. But it does pick up, and we get sort of sideswiped with really central and southern Vermont seeing the most snowfall. That then exits out of the region, and we're left over with a lot of lake effect snows. You see this sort of, I call it bearding, and you can see downwind of the Great Lakes with this northwesterly flow with this area of low pressure spinning along it. That's going to provide us with wintertime conditions, but kind of off and on partly sunny, partly cloudy kind of days with a little bit of snow shower activity. And that's going to linger into this coming weekend with relatively cold temperatures. So a shot of winter is on the way, and it even does penetrate into the south. This is a little bit more intense than what it was looking like. So we're starting the season here, it looks like, with a little bit of a bang here. And that's coming later in the week and going into this coming weekend and then beyond. It looks like through the 6th into the 7th of December, we're looking at another short wave, a pretty good squall line potentially of maybe some interesting snow squalls that could work its way out of the northwest with some gusty winds at times as well. Now briefly with that freezing rain, this is for tomorrow morning. This is what the models are showing here. So it starts, it looks like during the morning hours, roughly right about probably around sunrise or so, and then continuing after sunrise along the mountains mainly, and looks like it's going to be confined to the elevated terrain, and then eventually it works on out of here, and there's nothing to worry about as temperatures warm, but we're going to see a little bit of rain as it changes over from freezing rain to basically rain. Okay, this is the other bit of business here. We have some snow to work with, so let's take a look at what how this all comes in. Now, it's really not till Thanksgiving Day, Turkey Day, so as we're eating turkey dinner, the snowflakes are going to start getting a little bit larger and start to accrue. This is valid around Thursday morning, saying, just a little dusting, not a big deal. But then it starts to pick up here, and this blue line here is greater than 2-inch amounts, as you can see. And then that continues to add up as it looks right now. This is a positive snow depth accumulation, so it's even more accurate than 10 to 1 or Kuchera. So this is what is expected with the model, the European model in this case, showing on the ground. So we got some mountain snows on the way, and even down to the valley floors, but not so much in Lake Champlain. Temperatures at that point just a little bit too warm. So this is a little bit of an elevation-dependent snowfall, but it does look like it's enough that could cause a few power outages due to the wet nature of the snow at this time. And in terms of temperature schematics, looking at the NBM here, what we can see is today, Monday, and this would be tonight, we have a high temperature here, a low, and then we see a little bit of an uptick tomorrow, that freezing rain in the morning, and then basically warming up out of that freezing rain level to around almost 40. And then the temperatures make kind of a gradual fall. It looks like the period of coldest weather is really going to be affecting us a little ways out yet. Now this is December, roughly the 1st, so we're talking 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and continuing as far as the eye can see here through about the 6th of December. And of course, we're going to be in winter-like temperatures here, so drag out that parka, have your best cold weather gear ready to go if you have to do anything out of doors. Roger Hill, Weather Guide, thanks for watching.